Have you ever noticed that spot at the back of your head that you can't touch? That goes numb when you do. It's like there's something hidden there, you don't know what it is, but it knows everything about you. From that night on, your sleep would suddenly freeze. You'd feel like you were still awake, but you couldn't move. Your dreams would replay scenes you'd never experienced. You researched, you calculated, you asked, but no one told you the truth until you realized it wasn't a dream. It was the first time they had connected you to the system. Through the port at the back of your head, you thought it was just stress. You often woke up with no memories, covered in sweat, your fingers cold, as if you just crawled out of the water. You thought it was insomnia, but it was actually incomplete upload. They downloaded copies of your memories while you slept and continuously uploaded corrected dreams. You've experienced this before. Sometimes you went all night dreamless, but woke up more exhausted than if you'd stayed up all night. Sometimes you dreamed of the same place over and over again. A building, a city, a corridor you'd never been to, yet felt strangely familiar. These aren't coincidences, they're implanted. Test copies. The system is modeling the places you dream about. The more vivid your dreams become, the more complete the system's grasp of your psychological structure becomes. You think it's the brain, but the truth lies in the frequency portal at the back of the brain. The occipital lobe is the most vulnerable area in the human brain and the most susceptible to infiltration by non-native signals. When you fall asleep, your brainwaves automatically slow down, and it's at this moment through the socket at the back of your brain that they cut off your dream frequencies and connect a replacement program. You can't see or touch this socket, but you've experienced a sudden tingling sensation at the back of your head, aroused by a pulling sensation, flashing blue codes, frequency lines, or unfamiliar number sequence interfaces in your dreams. These aren't hallucinations. They're the system's signals overwriting your original dream. You think sleep is a process of physical repair, but for the system, the moment you fall asleep is the beginning of its work. Do you know why they choose dreams as their entry point? Because dreams are your only defenseless place. There's no conscious scrutiny, no logical questioning, no boundaries. There you're willing to believe anything. As long as the image is real, you'll succumb. What do they use this back of the brain socket for? They're not monitoring you, but programming you, writing commands, writing restrictions, writing preset paths for your future behavior. The choices you make upon waking are often already planned in your dreams. Have you noticed that your dreams are becoming increasingly logical? You used to dream of flying, time travel, bizarre scenes, and incredible time jumps. Now, your dreams are starting to resemble life so normal it's frightening. In your dreams, you go to work, eat, argue with friends, get scolded by your boss, get a checkup, and then stumble upon a strange face. You think this is subconscious organization, but the real reason is you're being implanted with behavioral models in your dreams. They use the most ordinary scenes of life to mask the deepest control codes. The more you believe this is me, the further you're moving away from the real you. This is the most terrifying part. Dreams are no longer your free space, but a way for programming your behavior. Key paradox: awakening conflict. The harder you try to regain your self-esteem, the deeper the system's control. You've tried to break free. You've meditated, practiced breathing techniques, engaged in lucid dreaming exercises, and even tried to avoid sleep. But you've discovered the more you resist, the clearer your dreams become, even starting to lay the groundwork. Whatever you were thinking about during the day, you'll dream a perfect opposite at night, overcoming your will. As you try to remember the dream, it begins to fill it with irrelevant details, confusing you. You try to wake up in your dream, but you realize that waking up is just another dream within a dream. It's not that you're not trying hard, you're simply fighting against an entire consciousness simulation system that understands you better than you do. That night, you slept normally. No nightmares, no dreams of monsters, no startling awakenings. But the moment you woke, you knew something had changed. You feel a chill all over your body, especially the back of your head, which feels swollen and as if your scalp has been torn. You touch the back of your head, and a patch of skin feels hot and numb, but nothing noticeable. You think you're sleeping. Position has compressed a nerve until you realize you can't even remember what you dreamed last night. You're not even sure if you dreamed at all. It's like your brain has been reprogrammed. But the strangest thing isn't the memory loss, it's that from that night on, your dreams have changed. For several nights in a row, you dream of looking at yourself in a dream. Menu bars, data screens, and strange sound notifications begin to appear in your dreams. Someone tells you you've been selected. Get ready to access the next version. When you wake up, you can't speak or believe it, even suspecting you're mentally ill. But your body knows you've been implanted. It's not a chip, but a dream interface system, plugging into your subconscious from the back of your head. From that night on, you dreamed of the same place over and over again. It looked like a hospital, but also like an office building. The hallways were white, empty, and brightly lit. Every time you walked inside, you heard a beeping sound, as if the system was scanning you. You opened each door, only to see yourself again at different times, with different identities and endings. In one, you died on the operating table. In another, you were signing an agreement. In another, you were sitting on the steps, crying, something stuck in your ears. The dreams grew more and more real, until one day, you looked out a window and saw the back of your head, a thick black wire connected to the ceiling, like a suspended data packet. You tried to unplug it, but you couldn't. You could only watch it flicker, beating like a heartbeat. You woke, the back of your head burning, tears streaming uncontrollably. In that moment, you understood. The dream was no longer yours. It was a copy space generated for you by the system. You began to notice a detail. Your dreams would become inducing instructions in reality the next day. You dream of falling, and the next day you suddenly feel weak in the knees. You dream of someone telling you, stop trying to escape, and someone denies your request that very day. You dream of being trapped in an elevator, and as a result, you lose focus and procrastinate all day. Your dreams are no longer just dreams. They become behavioral presets implanted in you by the system. It doesn't force you to do anything, but rather uses dreams to influence your state, aura, and judgment, forcing you to self-execute. You think you're making choices, but in reality, you're simply following a script written in your dreams. You might ask, why do they choose dreams as their entry point? Why don't they control you while you're awake? The reason is simple. During the day, you have consciousness, judgment, and resistance. In dreams, you don't. Dreams are your only defenseless zone. When you're soundly asleep, your brain automatically shuts down its critical system, which is responsible for identifying external signals, illusions, an abnormal logic, but once it's shut down, any information that enters your mind is stored as real memory. In other words, you think your dream is just a fantasy, but in reality, it's already been written into your memory system and becomes part of your real-world judgment. They control you, not when you make a decision, but before you do, by pre-programming the dream, causing you to naturally follow that predetermined choice the next day. You think you're free, but you're unaware your true decision was quietly stolen in last night's dream. Do you remember the problem we first discussed? That hairless spot at the back of your head that tingles. When you touch it, you thought it was just a skin problem, a nerve reaction, but it's actually the area where your vibration is most vulnerable to penetration. Some people experience the following symptoms after being plugged into an outlet. Asterisk, a burning sensation in the back of the head after waking, or even a tingling sensation throughout the day. Asterisk, an unexplained red ring or slight swelling in the back of the head, which disappears within a few hours. Asterisk, sometimes hearing an internal electrical sound in the back of the head, especially just before falling asleep or waking up. Asterisk, a sudden awakening during sleep with a beeping sound in the ear, like a notification. More subtle signs may include dreams of plugging in the back of the head. For example, asterisk, dreams of having a device strapped to your head. Asterisk, dreams of fluid, light, or data being injected into the back of the head. Asterisk, or dreams of someone reading you through the back of your head. These dreams aren't dream symbols, they're self-alarm mechanisms embedded in your conscious defenses. Your internal system knows you're being hacked and tries to wake you, but you can't hear it. Have you ever considered a terrifying possibility? Your current memories might be versions uploaded by the system for you. You believe you're a free individual only because your dreams constantly maintain the continuity of your self-story. The system never directly alters your personality. It simply adds a scene or deletes a crucial moment when you're about to awaken. It's like photo editing, only the color is adjusted, not the image itself. But after enough color adjustments, you forget what the original image looked like. And when this dream editing continues long enough, your consciousness automatically recognizes these pseudo-dreams as part of yourself. You'll worry about the fears set in your dreams, grieve over battles lost in your dreams, and even change your real-life decisions based on a single word from a stranger in your dreams. At this moment, you have to ask yourself the cruelest question: are my current choices my own, or is the copy in my dream already living my life for me? It's not like you haven't struggled before. You've tried to wake up in your dreams, straining to open your eyes, biting your tongue, screaming, falling, but the result is this: you wake up, but it feels even more like a dream. Reality feels lighter, as if it could lift off the ground at any moment. You can't grasp the key points of what people say, and sometimes even your own emotions lag behind by a fraction of a second. You think you've won, but in reality you've simply returned from a dream copy to a degraded version of reality. The system's countermeasure isn't to hit you or scare you, but to make you lose trust in your senses, to make you lose certainty about who you are. The more you struggle in your dreams, the more distorted the world becomes upon waking. This is part of the frequency penalty protocol. Every time you try to decipher the logic of your dreams, the system blocks a note of your perception. You become numb. You lose your precise reactions to joy, surprise, and anger. You think you've grown up and become emotionally stable. No. The system has turned off some of your receptors. Have you ever dreamed of this scene? A blurry figure stands quietly. At the end of your dream, it doesn't speak, but you always feel like it's observing you. If you approach, it disappears. If you flee, it reappears ahead. This figure is the system's dream administrator. It's neither human nor ghost. It's the dream data maintainer assigned to you after you were plugged in. Commonly known as the subconscious gatekeeper. It has 3 tasks. 1. Prevent you from becoming overly aware of lucid dreams. 2. Record your acts of resistance in dreams. 3. Trigger a dream reset mechanism when you approach the truth. You've dreamt of it repeatedly, only to forget it upon waking. This is because after each mission, it executes a final command: delete the user's conscious memory of the administrator. You can't fight it, but you can remember. If you dream of a motionless figure, it's your administrator. Next time, don't approach. Escape is possible, but not through meditation, spiritual practice, or mindfulness. This is just the fake freedom the system allows you to play with. True escapees all experience a common event: a sharp pain in the back of the head, plus a brief blackout of consciousness, plus a completely white screen in the dream for over 3 minutes. They call this a node disconnection. When you fully identify your dream copy with your original consciousness in a dream, and a split occurs, the system briefly loses control, and your frequency enters an unrecognized state, your only window of escape. But this process is accompanied by extreme pain. You'll feel like your back of the head is burning. Reality is collapsing. Everything in the dream begins to blur. Characters unravel, voices distort, and it's as if you're being forcibly kicked out of another world. If you make it through, you'll notice when you wake up the next day, longer dream of anyone, only pure black and light. This means you've disconnected from the system copy's dream interface, and your consciousness has returned to its original state. But only a very few make it. Most, after experiencing the black screen, automatically choose to reconnect, because fear is more likely to succumb than freedom. Dreams are a gateway to higher dimensional perception. You could once connect to your ancestors' frequencies, tap into your soul's memories, and foresee your future in your dreams. But when your dreams are connected to the socket at the back of your head, they become a frequency suppressor. Why do they control you? Not to make you do something, but to make you not do it. Not awakening, not exploring, not breaking away from the system-set human role script, not asking, who am I? And what am I here for? Your dreams were once a doorway to the truth. Now they've become a screen, projecting the world they want you to believe. You say you're hardworking, self-disciplined, and positive. But have you ever considered that the life you desperately desire is actually the ideal template they feed you in your dreams? Is the way you live already determined by your dreams? The next time you wake up, if you still can't remember your dreams, or if your dreams seem to normal, then stop questioning. That socket is no longer just implanted in you. It's dreaming for you, and you may never be able to return to your true self.